Well, NEC4 has been well received in the industry. Over the years, it's become the contract of choice for most people doing infrastructure projects. Over the time since it was published, we've had lots of feedback from the users, we've had consultation on various topics, and we've also taken into account new changes that are happening within the procurement and contract management industry worldwide. So we thought it best to update the contract to take account of all these things, hence the NEC4.
So in the making of NEC4, the first thing we had to do was to ensure that we were setting out to deliver a contract that our customers needed. We set up some stakeholder consultation workshops with both our users and non-users in the UK and across the industry worldwide. Once we had all the stakeholder engagement feedback, we set up a contract board led by Peter Higgins. The board then selected their drafting teams. Those pool of drafters was selected for their expertise and skills and knowledge on the NEC contracts. We consulted with our legal teams, insurance teams and even niche teams such as BIM to give us the feedback that we needed in order to draft the NEC4 contracts.
There are some key elements to address within the NEC3. The NEC3 has been in place for 10 years. We've got a lot of lessons learned from the users of the contract. It's very important that we incorporate them. But there's also some key developments in the way the industry delivers projects, so things like BIM need to be addressed. And there's also a big desire for clients to use forms of procurement such as alliancing and design, build and operate. So the NEC4 provides those requirements.
The reason why we created the alliance contract was we felt there was a need to have a more collaborative contract, whereby we had a single contract form that all members of the supply chain could sign up to, including the clients. A performance-based contract with shared risks, shared responsibilities and aligned objectives. The Alliance is intended to help by bringing together the parties under a single set of contract conditions. They have limited risks that are held separately, they're all held by the Alliance as a whole, and the Alliance works together in a collaborative format to try and achieve better results for the ultimate client.
Clients have been looking at doing a contract based on design, build and operate, and have various techniques for doing so. We didn't feel that the NEC contracts there by themselves were really suited for that model, so we thought it best to create our own version of this contract. DBO will help because it allows the client to decide what it wants to achieve in terms of objectives and set that as a standard to be met by the suppliers. So they will design and construct the work necessary to meet the client's objectives for performance of the operational service.
The process for developing NEC4 started with a specification. We based that upon several things. Firstly, NEC have had a database of comments and they've kept a database of that right from the start of NEC3. Then we also have the user group helpline, which has also produced us with a lot of good feedback as to what was right and equally what was wrong with the existing contract. And finally, we had contacts with government and with commercial organisations, and they were talking to us as well. So that gave us a good start.
Our brief in drafting NEC4 was to clarify some aspects of the contract that had been identified where improvements could be made, to include some new provisions that would enhance collaboration, and hopefully to cover some areas that people have historically covered using Z clauses. The contract is intended to be more user-friendly and more in tune with what users really want.
Users will find it fairly straightforward to transition from NEC3 to 4 because of their great similarity. The clauses are very, very recognisable by users, so they won't have to learn anything new. It's evolved from the old contract and just brought in the new initiatives and new approaches.